The rain had been falling steadily for hours, blurring headlights into streaks of gold and red. Emily rubbed her tired eyes as she pulled her dented sedan to the curb. Nights like this meant longer hours behind the wheel, extra shifts to cover rent, groceries, and her son's school fees. The back door opened, and a man slid into the seat, bringing with him the scent of rain-soaked wool and expensive cologne. His suit jacket was damp, his tie loosened, his hair slightly disheveled. Emily glanced in the rearview mirror and immediately recognized the signs. Glossy eyes, flushed cheeks, the heavy exhale of someone who had drunk too much. He leaned back against the seat, running a hand through his dark hair. Westbridge Heights, he murmured, naming one of the wealthiest neighborhoods in the city. His voice was deep, tinged with exhaustion. Emily tapped the address into the GPS, resisting the urge to sigh. She had ferried her share of drunk passengers, loud college kids, bitter office workers, careless partygoers. But this man was different. He carried himself with an air of authority, even in his unsteady state. The cut of his suit alone probably cost more than her month's wages. She kept her focus on the rain-slicked road, trying not to dwell on the strange, heavy silence that filled the car. The city rolled past in a blur of neon and reflections. The rhythmic swish of the wipers was the only sound for several minutes. Emily gripped the steering wheel, cautious. Part of her always braced for a drunk passenger to become difficult. But instead of slurred chatter or complaints, the man simply watched her. She could feel his gaze in the rearview mirror, steady and unsettling. Finally, his voice broke the silence, low and rough. "You don't look at me the way others do." Emily's brows knitted. "Excuse me?" He gave a half-smile, sad and almost boyish. "Most people, they stare at me like I'm a headline or a wallet in a suit. But you?" His words trailed off, his eyes soft. "You're just driving, like I'm anyone else." Emily shifted uncomfortably, unsure how to respond. She didn't know who he was, some wealthy executive maybe, but she recognized the loneliness in his tone. It was the same hollow ache she felt on nights when the apartment was too quiet after her son fell asleep. She cleared her throat. "I treat everyone the same. That's the job." But even as she said it, she caught herself stealing another glance at him in the mirror. And what she saw wasn't a powerful man in a suit, but someone tired, vulnerable, and deeply human. The car rolled to a stop in front of gleaming iron gates, which slowly swung open to reveal a sprawling mansion, with tall glass windows glowing against the rain. Emily's headlights swept across manicured hedges and a fountain that probably cost more than her car. Her passenger stirred, leaning forward unsteadily. "Home," he muttered, though the word didn't sound comforting, it sounded empty. Emily put the car in park and turned slightly. "We're here." He fumbled with his wallet, pulling out a black card and waving it clumsily. "How much?" She shook her head, firm but gentle. "Don't worry about it, just get inside safe." His hand froze midair. Slowly, he lowered the card, staring at her with an expression she didn't expect. Confusion, disbelief, and something raw or almost vulnerable. "No one's ever said that to me before," he whispered. Rain pattered on the roof as silence stretched between them. Finally, he asked, "What's your name?" "Emily," she answered, hesitating. He repeated it softly, tasting the syllables like they were rare and precious. "Emily." His eyes lingered on her face as though memorizing her. Then with effort, he slipped out of the car and disappeared behind the massive doors, leaving her sitting in the drizzle, wondering why her chest felt strangely heavy. Emily thought it was over. A strange encounter, nothing more. She went back to her shifts, juggling rides at night and cafe work in the mornings, never expecting to see him again. But a week later, as she balanced a tray of coffees at the cafe, the bell above the door jingled and her breath caught. There he was, sober this time. His suit was immaculate, his hair neatly styled, but his eyes carried the same depth she had glimpsed in the rearview mirror. He scanned the room until they landed on her, and then he smiled, an expression warmer, more genuine than any she had seen in years. "Emily," he said softly when she approached. "I wasn't sure you'd even recognize me." Her pulse quickened. "How could I not? You nearly fell asleep in my back seat." She tried to make it light, but her voice wavered. He chuckled, sliding into a booth. "Fair, but that night, you treated me like a person, not a paycheck. I can't stop thinking about that." Emily blinked, stunned. She wanted to brush it off, to remind herself that men like him lived in a world far removed from hers. But then his eyes softened, and in them she saw no CEO, no power, no wealth, just a man searching for something real. For the first time in years, her guarded heart stirred with something dangerous and beautiful. Hope.